Good Friday Let's try that one again. Good Friday afternoon, everybody. It's afternoon for me, evening for you guys over in Europe. Hope you're all doing well. It's turning into a beautiful day down here in the Dominican Republic, but it's time to leave. And today we're heading up to the Turks and Caicos Islands, up to Providenciales, or that's not how you pronounce it, Providenciales. And we're going to head up there on our second last flight on this circumnavigation of the Caribbean. So fairly straightforward route for us. We're kind of just heading northwest. I did put the route in the Discord and posted the estimated route earlier this morning on what it should be. So it's been slightly modified for the RNAV arrival into the airport, but other than that, it should be pretty much the same. We'll just get that up. Before we go, I'm also going to bring up the Discord link for anyone that's watching. If you want to join the Discord, I'll get it up. That's not it. So I'll get it up in the chat so that you can physically grab the link and head to the Discord page where all the information about all our flights, which are all community flights, is posted. What aircraft, whether they're multiplayer such as this one or VATSIM flights, all that good stuff is always there. So we'll just get the link up and then we'll jump into the cockpit and get ourselves up and ready to go. There we go. And I'll just copy that over to Twitch. And it's now in the Twitch chat as well. So let's hop on board and we can get ourselves our running here. Should be a fairly quick setup. Alright, we're on board the aircraft. First thing we're going to do is turn on the fuel tanks, or else we're not going anywhere. We'll get rid of the yoke, get it out of the way. So battery will come on, and as the battery warms up, we'll turn on avionics system number 1, which gives us the ND and PFD on the left side. As you can see, we'll kill the warnings. That's good. And the route is already in, as we can see. We're going off on runway 17. It's a direct out, and then when we get up to our destination in the Turks and Caicos, we are doing the RNAV for runway 110 into the airport.
TOS system test. Okay.
Excellent news. All right, so let's get the beacon and nav lights up and going. Put the ignition to normal. We'll get the fuel boost pump on, and we will hit the starter. Jacery, hello. Starter's engaged. Pressures are coming up. Hear the starter winding up there. Start to get some torque on the prop, so we'll add fuel. We'll go to ground idle. We have ignition. Alright, that's good. So starter will come off, boost pump will go back to normal, ignition will go to normal, and we can bring on the second avionics page. What we're going to do is we're going to get rid of the inset there. PDF mode, we're going to go to Winds 3. CDI mode, we'll go over to VNAV transponder. Set in a code. And we're going to go to Alt. I'll put that back. So that's all set up. Cruising today, we're going up to 5,000 feet. So we'll dial that in. Or, sorry, not 5,000 feet, 8,000 feet for today's flight. Let me just check the flight plan. Yes, 8,000 feet. So that's now dialed in, and we will grab the weather and just make sure we got the most up-to-date weather we can get here. And I'll put it in chat so everyone can see. Winds are 140 at 6 knots. As you can see, scattered cloud at 2,000 feet, scattered cloud at 7,000 feet, 30 degrees, and 1015 on the barrow. So we'll dial that to, what's this one? No, it's this one. There we go. It's 30 inches. That's fine. That's the conversion. So that we are all set there. And do we need any final Nav Aids? It's an RNAV approach. But I'm just going to check and see if there's any beacons or anything up there. There is. We have a beacon and we have a NDB. So let's get those in now while we're here. So on Nav 1, 115.6 as a reference. 115.6, that is now over there. And for the NDB, it is 387. So we're going to dial 387. We'll go to 7 and we'll push it. And we'll go to 8. 387. We'll flick that over. So that is there. That is there. So we're going to come back to our. That's all good. We're going to come back to our PDF. We're going to go for DME. No. And bearing 2. We'll put that in there. So all our information is now up and we are good to go. Yeah, clouds are clearing out. It was a little bit cloudier earlier. Looks like everybody is up and running. So taxi lights and recognition lights will come on. Pull out the inertial separator for when we taxi. I am going to get a little bit of panel lighting in here because it is a little bit dark. We'll get these up as well. There we go. Alright, let's taxi. So, we'll come off on the brakes. We're going to swing her around. And head back over to the taxiway. And again, the runway, end of the runway is right over here. So we do not have far to go today. Let's get myself back aligned in Navigraph. Take your eyes off the runway and this is what happens. So we have one more leg on this series. This is from here, our destination here today over to the Bahamas again. That will be in 2 weeks. There will be no Friday stream in a week, April 1st, as I am going to a concert that day. So I'll be having to head into the city roughly the time the stream would be going. Alrighty. So as we come up to the line, lights will go on. And we can get ourselves lined up. We'll leave a little bit of room for everyone to come in behind. We're also going to bring our propeller fully forward. And we're going to bring our fuel to flight idle. You can hear the engine coming up to proper flight power. There's that A330 that took off a little while ago. Just roll forward. Give everyone room to move out. We do have that DC3 in there. We got to leave room for. All right. I do love the twin windsocks. That's very interesting. Yep, it's a real concert. It's not a April Fool's thing. All right, so there's Kevin in his Aer Lingus DC3. We got Talia back there, and we have Nick coming out to line up. So we're going to take off, and I believe it is a left-hand or right-hand turnout. We will see. Yep, it's a right-hand turnout. All right, so first notch of flaps are down, brakes are on, parking brakes released, power coming up. Off on the brakes. And we'll bring it up to the bug and take off power. 60 knots, easing back, and we are up and away. A nice climb going there, so we're going to go autopilot on. We'll do flight level change. Should hopefully hold that speed. Doesn't seem to want to do it more recently. Alright, so vertical speed it is. Take it up to 1,000 for now. And into nav mode. We're through 400 feet, so flaps can come up. So everything is looking good. There's 1,000 feet, so we'll bring back the prop RPM to 1,800. Make sure our power is centered on the bug. V-Chase, thanks for the follow over there on Twitch. Appreciate it. Hope you're doing well today. So 1,800 on the prop RPM, and power is centered in the bug for the propeller torque, and that gives us our climb, and we're just going to hold this 1,000 feet per minute at 130 knots as we climb out. We're going into some weather here. That's not too bad. Just some the scattered cloud that's around. So in a second we'll make the turn here at, well, there we go. We're making the turn out. And we're on our well. Doing well. Doing well. Gonna enjoy this flight. Sad though, we've been flying island hop in the Caribbean all winter. And spring is coming, so it's almost done. This is our second last leg. As we head out of the Dominican Republic. Alright, so we're just over the water. In a second we're going to turn and we'll start heading up while we'll be able to get over. And we're going to be flying close to one of the more famous places down here that I hear a lot of people go to, up in Puerto Plata. So hopefully we'll have a break in the clouds and we'll be able to see it. Alright, there's 3,000 feet, so landing lights can come off. Everything else is set. Inertial separator can go in now. we're just going to keep climbing at 1,000 feet per minute. Keeps the speed up and keeps our flight time down. Yes. I flew for 14 years as a private pilot. And then I currently volunteer at an aviation museum working around old biplanes. Alright, looks like everybody got up. That's good to see. Some shipping here in the bay. Again, this is live weather, live time. So, what you see is what you get if you're there. Should be turning to the north any second now. That's the capital's over here, Santo Domingo. Oh, looks like Talia's just heading off on our way. Same with Kevin. Got Nick following along though, that's nice. Won't feel so lonely out here. So about another 0.3 miles we'll make the turn. Head up to the next waypoint. Just making sure we're following properly. Yeah, everything is looking good. We're gonna come back a little bit on the other way. GPS here. You can see we're gonna come up and then head straight up along the mountain ridge here. Just to the east of it. Alright, now that we're getting up, we can grab the radio and put on some tunes. So, let me check my library. And let's throw this one on. Private pilot was good. I mean, I had another career that I had for over 30 years. I did it for fun, and it's something that I always wanted to do. So I got some good experiences and did some unique things while I did it. I'm friends with a bunch of airline pilots and stuff now because of what I was doing and what I do. So it's an expensive thing to get into. I will say that. I mean, it's not expensive as like a 4-year university course to be an engineer or something, but a lot of money spent building up your hours and getting your ratings. But I know lots of people that do it, from retired airline pilots to people who just got into it with some of the major airlines. So they all enjoy it, and it's all the flying. It's what they want to do. So if it's a passion and you want to do it, definitely do it. The big thing I'd say is make sure your school is there and you have good math skills. You're going to need those. That's the town of, the eastern edge of Santo Domingo, and then San Cristobal coming up on the coastline. And you can see the mountains kind of through the clouds there. Flying time today, it's 245 miles, so we're looking at almost an hour and 40 minutes on cruise. Or we're leveling off, so let's jump back in. We're gonna have to adjust the power once we're up to our cruise. We won't adjust until we're in cruise to let the airspeed build up. Everything is good on the engines. Alright, so we're pretty much leveled off now. So, what we're going to do is we're going to bring the propeller RPM back to 1700, and then we'll adjust the torque into the bug, which will give us our cruise power setting. So we're bringing the prop RPM back. You can see the propeller torque is moving too as we change the pitch on the blades to bring the RPMs back. It's getting coarser, taking a bigger bite out of the air, which means more friction, which slows the props down, but it lets us get to a higher speed. And now we'll pull back on the power and get the bug centered again. There you can see it's dropping back down to just over 1900 foot-pounds. And we're now setting cruise. You can see our airspeed's up about 145, which is where we want it to be. Talia, you had a left turn out there. Okay, that was interesting. I guess it just depends when you did it in the thing. So I'm sure we'll all meet up at PTA because I'm heading there as well. All right, there's the view out the window. There's that mountain ridge that splits the island, and somewhere, I think it's a little further west, is the border with Haiti. Alright, so we do got some cloud cover there. You can see that lower cloud layer they talked about in the MEDAR, which was the 2,000 foot level, and then you can see some of the clouds we're going through now, which I'm assuming are the ones that we're talking about at the 7,000 foot level. But once again, it is looking very nice out as we look down upon the Dominican. Never been, know people who have. A very popular place for Canadians to go down to. Yeah, I've got the pour as well, and I'm coming in on the southern leg of the arrival, or the that's not the arrival. What would you call that? Just the southern leg of the approach into the pick up the runway heading. So let's bring up a schedule. And that should allow us to see when the next flight is, which will be tomorrow. We're carrying on in the Twin Otter, the DHC-6 Twin Otter, as we tour around Norway. We're heading up from Trondheim to Bodø. And that starts at 1300 Zulu tomorrow. Yeah, I did see you flying around there, Talia. I saw you. Well, I didn't see you flying around, but I think I saw you fly by and then land. Yeah, that's one way to do a DME arc, especially when you can't do those custom waypoints. See, the ground's a little bit rougher down here. Gonna make another turn to the more northward. There we go. Now we're heading up to the north side of the island. looking very green. So a bit further, the mountain range goes for a bit, but it's a bit further out. That way is the Haitian border. But if you're ever down in the Caribbean and doing island hopping and stuff, and this is the airplane you're in, these are the sights you get. You get some nice views. One of the benefits of being a little bit lower than the main airliners is you can see a lot more detail on the ground. So Nick, did you see the video they released with the sounds for the Concorde? So watching the corporate pilot that was doing Mach 2 flybys, and you can just hear the boom as she went by. So Talia should be in the lead, somewhere off over in that direction. Pop out. Uh-oh. I'm all alone. Looks like we got hit with the multiplayer bug. Interesting. Well, they'll pop back in eventually. It's just a little bit noisy out there. Kind of cruising up along the edge of the mountain range here. It's interesting how when you zoom out, when you're in that external view, the camera goes to a kind of a fisheye type of view. Yeah. I've never heard one close. I've heard one in the far distance, but I've never heard them close up. When it was a lot smaller aircraft that I heard. It was a, what was it? F-14, I think, when I was in the States. I'm not sure how loud they would actually be, especially in the thinner air at altitude. So that might make a difference. Hi, Georgina. How are you today? Looks pretty cool. And we got a couple new aircraft coming soon. We've got the the 146, which looks like it's going to be a challenge to learn how to fly that thing. And of course the 737 from PMDG eventually. I got a little bit of a bump from the hills here. So for everyone who likes to fly along, I would suggest that you brush off your C4J skills, your BizJet, as we're going to be using the BizJet in the series that replaces this one. Georgina, I'm doing very well, thank you. And we'll be doing some BizJetting around the world, flying into some of the smaller airports we don't usually get to go into in the airliners, I hope. We'll see what the route is. And also some ideas for the future as well, with routes and stuff. I got to admit, Blue over at Blue Gaming has given me a couple of ideas, and I think Kevin mentioned one as well. No, Scott mentioned one to me. I thought up another one the other day, so we have some good BizJet stuff for a while. Yeah, the F-15s are a pretty powerful airplane. That's what I used to love about air shows. You just get to hear the raw power out of these things as they just punched it briefly to full throttle. The F-14 we had, that was down in 29 Palms, U.S. Marine Corps training thing, and the Navy was supporting. It was an exercise decades ago when I was in the Army, and they came screeching by at about Mach 1.3 or something like that. Made the big boom. Sounds like a nightclub in there right now. That's okay. Oh, there's Talia.
Celebrating 70 years in the trucking industry, Gardewine is proudly Canadian. With over 30 terminal locations across Manitoba and Ontario, Gardewine serves more than 35.
All right, let's see what else we got here. We can go to this.
All driving positions across their Canadian
Throw on this album now.
to be close to home. If you want to operate exclusively in Canada, then you want to join the Gardewine family. Visit drivegardewine.com for all.
Yeah, there's been a lot of MD-11 stuff.
GARDEWINE.com.
I can tell you we've been stuck in our house long enough.
But I wouldn't mind doing that for long hauls, using something like the MD-11. I don't know. There's something to be said for the ease of, you know, having it all in an FMC and being able to let the aircraft do the flying.
1 million or even 3. Call Capital Direct today at 1-800-NEW-CAPITAL to see what's available to you.
Enough of the commercials. Alright, so what I would like to see, and if it was payware, I'd probably buy it as well, is the Airbus 400M. That would be a nice 4-engine turboprop, big heavy lifter. And I've seen video from inside real ones, like in the cockpit and stuff. It looks pretty amazing. I think that would be a cool one to fly. Could do some interesting stuff with that. The MD-11? I haven't ever actually watched any of the videos. I saw, was it AvGeek did one flying in an UPS livery? I saw his thumbnail for that one. But I haven't actually watched it. See on the synthetic radar there the terrain we're flying over below. A little bit of a valley coming up here. All right, time to get into the cooler. See what we got today. A little bit of turbulence over here. So this is the, oh, that's an interesting, let's get a better view down here. Layout of the town. This is Bonao. Like very much a circular pattern around the central spoke here. See the road curving around. Oh, it's very interesting. What's my opinion on the A3 4300? In real life, never been on it. It isn't in this sim, and I don't do X-Plane, so I don't have it. Scott, who you will see sometimes in the streams, and he's on the Discord, he has it for X-Plane, and he enjoys it a lot, from what he has said. So, but I have no experience with it. I mean, if they were to come out with, we've got the A320, we got the fly-by-wire Neo version, we're gonna have the Phoenix CEO version. If they came out with a 350, and then fly-by-wire comes out with their 380, I mean, that'd be a good set of Airbus airplanes. But I am going to get the 737-800. My virtual airline flies it a lot, so I'll grab that. And let's look. It looks like I don't know if my fuel load took, so I'm going to do a little cheaty mid-air refuel here. Should have been up there-ish. Love to have the A350 as a long distance big airliner. May come, we'll see. So actually, it looks like we're going to be flying to the west of Puerto Plata. This is interesting. I am in Fly UK. You'll see some of the flights I do are in that livery. It's been a little while. I'm not doing any of them right now. But some of the stuff I fly are VA flights. This flight I'm doing right now is a VA flight, although I'm not in the livery. I thought I was going to SGO to PTA, but it may have got changed when I entered the departure, or was it departure? It kind of redid the route when I put in the arrival airport for the flight plan to be loaded into the thing on its own, so I don't know. I could look, I guess. Let's see, flight plan. Oh, I'm going to Malvern. See, it put me on a departure when I didn't have a departure initially. I just had it direct out to PTA. And it looks like it's put me on a departure. Keeps us from knocking into each other in the air. So we're coming up on the little town of La Vega. Very nice out today. Beautiful day to go flying. So we got 188 miles to go. roughly. We've got a ground speed of 178 knots, so we're just over an hour flight time away. Add in the landing, about an hour and 10, hour and 15. So I'm going to get the 146, and I'm probably going to base myself with that one out of London City. And we'll just use that for hopping around the UK and northwestern Europe. It is an interesting airplane. Getting the feeling it's going to release without an FMC. Everyone keeps saying it's coming later. Not sure how much later it's coming. Same with the weather radar and stuff. So it's VOR navigation. So, well, and we're used to that flying the DC-6, so. Town coming up over here is Santiago de los Caballeros. Something of the friends? I don't know. I have almost no knowledge of Spanish, so I don't even know why I attempted that. But we are getting up towards the northern coast. We're definitely going to be running into some clouds. Oh! Looks like Kevin's coming behind us now. See his tag. You don't see him, but you have the tag. And of course, we've been flying the Bahamas Air livery for the entire tour. Looks like we're not going to see Puerto Plata after all. That's the airport for it there. It's going to be probably socked in clouds that we can't see. That's all fine. So what are the routes that they have Concorde doing? Obviously, it's to JFK. Is there any others that they've got set up for it? I don't know. Did it fly any others on a regular schedule? Paris, I guess. Paris to New York. But that was their France ones, right? there's our turn to Melbourne. It's not much of a turn. About 20 degrees. Really? It flew to Montreal? It's interesting. I know it did special events, like I know it flew to the Caribbean once and stuff, so not sure where else, but I don't know. Nick says there's loads, so at least you have lots of places to fly it. Especially if you want to keep historically accurate. I keep forgetting this says pounds of fuel. I think my flight plan generated in kilos. Let me just go and do a thing and check that. What's my fuel requirement? Yeah. There you go. Things that lead to crashes. I'm reading my fuel requirements wrong. Forgot it was in pounds. Nah, we should be good now, though. Oh, that'd be a cool one. London down to Miami.
Alpine credits, where homeowners get approved.
Hey, Yanni, loan I'm looking for a loan. Can I get a $40,000, $80,000? How about a $500,000 loan?
Sure. I just need to know if you're a homeowner. Did you buy your home? Is it all yours? Name on the title and nothing more?
Oh, yes, I own my home. It's a very nice home. It's been mine for 10 years. I bought it all on my own. Now, how about that loan? No once, going twice.
Sold! I mean, approved.
Alpine credits, where homeowners get approved.
Go to alpinecredits.ca to get started. Some conditions apply.
From London?
Over 500,000 Canadians.
I don't think it would have the legs to get over there.
The Dementia-Friendly Canada project helps people.
It might have done a world tour or something and flown in there. I could see it doing that.
To better support people affected by dementia and ensure they feel acknowledged, included, and valued. To learn more about the simple and concrete actions you can take.
So we're coming up to the last of the mountain ranges.
Dementia-Friendly Canada.
We might see Porta Plata after all. Looks like these clouds are ridging on the edge here, and we should be able to get it get through. Couple small villages around as we head out over the countryside here. A little bit of turbulence, knocked around wind over the mountains. There's our next waypoint coming up. So now Nick has left me out here all alone. How's it going back there, Kevin? Do love that positional sound. A little bit better on the sunny side here. Anyway, I'm going to go put the kettle on. I'll be back in a minute. And I'll just leave you with a little bit of tunes going as well. Back soon.
tell you, we've been stuck in our house long enough to know that every corner could use a redo. Isn't it nice to know that a FlexiLine can help you do that? Maybe it's that kitchen you've been dreaming of, or the property you've had your eye on. Find out why Canadians have been trusting Capital Direct for 25 years. Could you use 200,000, 500, 1 million, or even 3? Call Capital Direct today at 1-800-NEW-CAPITAL to see what's available to you.
One of the really cool things that I think, Nick, you might have pointed this out on the latest build for the shipping mods. You get wakes from the ships now. I just saw one off in the distance. Really, it's a minor thing. I know, probably complicated to program, but it adds so much when you can see the wake off the back of the ship. So, Nick, you said you're going direct to Govet. I think, Talia, you're heading there as well as a waypoint. I'm going to hit Malvin and then head up towards Govet. What do we got to go? Just over 100 miles. I think my original flight plan had us 292, so we're not flying that original route exactly. So we're not too bad. The weather's definitely cleared up. Just a few little scattered clouds around now. That's still Dominican over there. We're kind of heading off on an angle. So, what is the weather like where we're heading into? Let's get the update. Really no change. Yeah, I'm showing 102. So you're in the lead. So there's the weather. Winds are 140 at 8 knots. And just scattered clouds at 1,200 feet, 28 degrees. Barometer is pretty much the same, 1012. Beautiful sun on the water there. Yeah, I'm still running the default G1000 unit in here. We'll see with the I've done a couple flights in the C4J now, getting it a little bit familiar with it. And one of the things in it is the Garmin 3000, which is pretty good. But with the working title mod, you can integrate your SimBrief and Navigraph, so you can actually pull up the Navigraph charts on your unit and import your flight plans from SimBrief and all that good stuff. It's really, really good to fly. Fully working VNav system, and that. And I'm really enjoying it. It is manual throttles, and you do got to watch your speed and everything. And there's a couple little tricks I've learned watching people on how to do it. But it's pretty cool airplane to fly around in. Yeah, it's the marketplace mod for it. Yeah, I'm just being a little bit more strategic in where I spend my money. I've got so many airplanes coming up. Expensive ones, too. Alright, so heading to Gov it, and I'm what am I showing there? 36.5 miles out from it. So it looks like you and maybe Nick are gonna cross in front of me. So let's talk a little bit about the Turks and Caicos Islands. It's a group of islands we're heading up to. It's a British overseas territory. Great. Nick doesn't need to show his passport, but the rest of us do. It's the larger Caicos Islands and the smaller Turk Islands. Their two major industries are tourism, obviously, being where they are, and being an offshore financial center. And July 21 population estimate was 57,000 people. So, not a big place. Interesting thing here. A number of years ago, I remember there was a bit of a petition going around for them to join Canada as a, if not as a province, as a territory. Which would have been nice. Canada could have had its own sunny Caribbean islands. There we go. I just found it. So in 1973, the Turks and Caicos received their own governor and became the last official colony and became a regular country with a governor. And then it was the last governor. And then in 1974, a Canadian MP tried to put a bill forward to link Canada and the Turks and Caicos to form an association, but it never worked. It's such a shame. Looks like a nice place to visit. It's a big biodiversity hotspot, including sea life and life on the islands. Pretty cool. Oh, it's free on the marketplace? Oh, okay. It's one of those few free ones. I think I see some islands starting to come up on the horizon. Sorry, I was in Wikipedia there, reading away. So, 81.7 miles away from the VOR up at the airport. See the plan. We're going to come in to Govet and then make the curve to Tomaz. And then we're heading for Dapur. I should pass a couple little islands over there. Not sure their names. Got the crop. Ooh, I haven't seen Logan's Run in a long time. You know what? I've watched more of the first 2/3 of that movie than I have the last third. Oh, here's one, Talia. Do you remember the movie Saturn V? Let's see if you remember old sci-fi classics, B movies. You guys will be seeing those islands a lot closer than I am right now. It's been nice being able to fly this series in real time, and for the most part, real weather. Adds a nice feel to it, flying in the late afternoon, or well, mid-afternoon, I guess, down here in the Caribbean. Yeah, Nick, that's Logan's Run. It's kind of two different unconnected things. Yeah, Farrah Fawcett was in that one. It was an interesting, that was an interesting sci-fi turn, sort of horror, not horror movie, but the machines go bad type of thing. That's back in the, I guess it would have been the 70s, early 80s when they were churning out all those sci-fi movies, B movies. Well, I think it's more that I just found the end of the movie boring. I mean, it's been a long time since I watched it, and I know the story, and I get it and everything, but I just found it boring, so I never really pay attention to the end. Just kind of drift away and wouldn't bother watching it. Yeah, interesting way of population control. Kill anyone over 30. There's the islands. This is the two southern islands. Don't think they're inhabited. They might be. Let's go see. Let me pull up my Google Maps. Alright, so those islands we're coming up to. There's a couple I think it's more of a touristy place, but the one on the left is Little Ambergris Cay, and the one on the right is Big Ambergris Cay. And there's a little restaurant called, well, on the big one on the right, Calico Jack's. Looks like a place you might sail your boat up to and anchor and then go in. Looks like a nice view from Calico Jack's. It had a view out over the oh, what was it? Over the water, the beach. So we're going to be coming up to those islands and then making a left turn, kind of following where Talia and Nick are headed. We're going to be heading out towards West Caicos Island. That's where the waypoint is, and then coming up and landing down in Providenciales on, what do they call it? The West Caicos Island. It's the western part of the big loop of islands. All right, 3 miles from the waypoint, and then we're heading up to Tomaz. Kevin's still back there. What's your ground speed, Kevin? Currently sitting at 181 knots. We're getting a 12 knot tailwind, almost a direct tailwind.
You're smart at making playlists. You know the golden ratio of ballads to bops, or rap to rock to rap rock. And you're an expert in breaking up breakup songs with songs about breaking stuff. Isn't it time to be equally smart about banking? Join EQ Bank and earn more with higher interest, no monthly fees, and without the usual banking nonsense. EQ Bank. Now that's
So there's a turn, 22 miles to run to Tomaz, and then we head inwards to pick up the initial approach fix.
Cursing during your commute again? Do you find yourself living at work instead of working from home? When it feels like all that's left is work hard, you know it's time to play. It's easy to find your next favorite game at Bodog.net.
Some nice color changes in the water.
Get poker tips and check out the latest
All right.
sports odds. Visit Bodog.net.
You're just slightly
today.
slower than us.
Make a play. I got some work to do after this. We had the water off in our building for most of the day, doing some work on the pipes. Now that the water's back, got a bunch of stuff to do. And on that, I will be right back.
Am I going to get the Concorde? That is an interesting question. As a historic aircraft, it'd be kind of cool. How much am I gonna fly it? I don't know. I may break down and do it. If I do get it, you'll have to coach me on it. I think you've flown them before, and was it FSX or something? So. I don't know. We'll see. What's the price are they looking at? Have they said? Smidge of land down here. I do love the color variations. Oh, it's really cool. You can see the islands. Oh, yeah, I know, Talia. 7 pages of routes? Oh. At least there's variety. All right, 8 miles to go. Now we're turning into Dapur. Are they still talking about a what was it, 30th of March release date for the Concorde? I think that's what I remember seeing. 28 pounds? Okay. That's not bad. Yeah, at that price, I probably will grab it. It's about 38, 40 bucks in Canucka stand dollars. Ooh, it's a nice sun glint there. I'm gonna try something. I was trying to set this up the other day. Oh, did I delete it? Let me see if I can do it. It's kind of late to be doing this as we're flying in. It's over here. Ah, it's that one. Let me just see if I can do this quickly. I've got Hopefully I'm not going to pooch the stream doing this. So what do we got to go? We've got 37 miles out to go, and it wants us to be at 2,000 feet by Binos. So about 20 miles out, so about another 16, 17 miles out, we'll get ready to do a slow descent down. I'll set it up later, and we'll give it a try tomorrow. Since we're getting close to the end, did I ever get my cheese plate? I did get my cheese plate. Lovely. Alright, so you can see the glide path ball coming into play. So we're looking good. Again, it will be down to 2,000 feet at Binos. That's where we're going to come in from Dapur, make that right turn onto the heading. And then we drop from there to 1,700 feet for Imusu. And then it's a 3-degree glide down on our minimums. We need a vertical visibility of 2,400 meters. That's not going to be an issue. 278 feet is our decision height.
Or even 3. Call Capital Direct today at 1-800-NEW-CAPITAL to see what's available to you.
There's nothing wrong with getting excited for a long-awaited feast with friends. But if you get a little carried away, Pepto-Bismol Liquid Caps is your handy on-the-go pack that offers fast.
So we've got roughly 10 miles to go, and then we'll start our descent.
You can continue with your day worry-free. Get effective relief with Pepto-Bismol Liquid Caps. To ensure this product is right for you, always read and follow the label. Keep out of the reach of children.
So the little island we're coming up has a nice town called Yankee Town on it. The southern tip. See, there's the island we're coming up to there. We'll be making the turn to the right over that and then boxing in on the right. Landing, it looks like, right there. I think that's the airport. So she's coming into sight. Looks like Talia started down. So the approach is set, the RNAV. There's no need to activate because it's already all set up according to this. So let's see how it does. Beautiful Caribbean water down below. And about 15 miles out, we'll start downwards. When we land, we're going to be heading down to the FBO at the far end of the runway, down at the 2.8 end. It's on the left. There's an FBO terminal. That's where we're going to head if you look at the charts. So land long, it's 9,000 feet, run all the way to the end because there is no parallel taxiway. And we're going to exit off on either Echo or Foxtrot and then head over to the FBO terminal. Alright, so we're coming up towards 15 miles. So what we'll do is we'll set our 2,000? I think it was 2,000. 2,000 feet. There we go. We'll get ready for that descent. Nick's starting down. We're going to throw landing lights on. The nav point's over the end of the island, and we're going to come up along this way and then back in across this part of the island as well. And the airport is somewhere right around there. Or that might be it. No, there it is there. I believe. Do a quick look at the chart. Yeah, that's it right there. Alright, turn the radio off. And we can start to head down. So we're going to go to a vertical down speed of about, we'll start with 500. See where that takes us. Of course, we got to come back on the power. So our speed doesn't ramp up. We'll try to keep our speed around where we are, 145-ish, as we start to head downwards. It's probably not going to be fast enough. So our restrictions at the initial approach fix is a maximum speed of 210 knots. Obviously we're not going to be anywhere near that. And it's a 5-mile run from there up to Binos. There is a hold that we can enter into at Binos if required. That's not going to be required. Talia's made the turn to the north. Now, we're going to have to come back a little bit more. We'll bring this down to 1,000 feet. Now, back on the power some more. Once we make the turn, we'll start configuring for our approach and landing. Looks like Kevin's going down low to evade radar. And Nick's making the turn. In real life, you could actually see these airplanes. They wouldn't be very large, but you could see them. Gonna bump that up a little bit more. Take it to 15. And again, back on the power. Here's Sneaky Snake. No, there's no snakes in Ireland. A guy named Patrick told me that. Alright. So there's that little Yankee town over here. Not sure if that's a little dirt strip there or not. But the waypoint's right over the tip there. So that's where, yeah, it looks like a dirt strip there. Again, one of these little places where you go for the day or anchor your boat outside. And we got 5 miles to run when we make the turn, so altitude's not an issue at the moment. Natalia's on final, Nick's on base. I'm coming in on the right downwind, more or less. It's an angled downwind for the pour. 2.6 miles out. Probably make the turn about a mile out. And Nick just vanished into the Turks and Caicos triangle. Just have to remember he's out there. Sure, I'll pop back in at some point. Oh, he CTD'd. Oh, I thought it was a multiplayer bug. Oh, that looks nice down there. Wow. I don't know whether you should cry or celebrate. Ooh, look at that. That looks very cool down there on the water. Alright, so 2,200 feet coming up. We're starting to pull out of the dive there, so we're going to bring the power back up. We're not going to try to speed up too much though. Prop's going to go fully forward. Landing lights are on, and the cabin is prepared for landing. Well, weather's good, so we're going to go right down to the 1700. So crank us downwards. We'll get that down. the speed back to about 135-ish. There we go, 1700. There's Kevin coming in. His altitude and everything is great. We will go to approach mode. So we're on the GPS for the course. We will click on that, put our heading in heading mode. So our missed approach is climbed to 2,000 feet. Then right turn direct to Binos. And hold or restart the procedure or as directed by ATC. Alright, so we climb to 2,000 feet, then make a right turn, head back to Binos and try again. So coming in, sun is setting. It's going to be a good time to clean up, pack up the airplane, head down to the beach bar for dinner as we watch the sunset. Coming over that beautiful water there. You can see what they were talking about. Oh, there's our shadow. See what they were talking about biodiversity and everything. You can see the reefs and all the fish life. Scuba diving and stuff must be awesome down here. Alright, so we're 2 miles out from where we should start down on the path, so we're going to pull the throttle. And first notch of flaps. We want to do come downhill at about 85 knots. So we're letting the speed come back to there. Second notch of flaps. We'll make sure the power is up to hold at 85. Glide slope is armed. There's the tick over. Just watching the ball come down. There we go. Glide path is captured. Bring the power back. Again, we want 185. We got a little bit of a headwind, and it's pushing in from about 30 degrees or so. You can see us crabbing there, so we'll have to watch that on landing. It's our altitude diversion alert that we're well off of the pre-programmed altitude. We can now set that to 2,000 feet. That's our go around. Speed's 80 knots. Kevin should be arcing in behind us. So we got to remember he's going to take longer to stop than we will. So we're going to make sure that we land long, keep the power up, and roll down to the far end. Rather strong wind, 17 knots at the moment. That's why we're burbling along here. 85 knots. Descending at 450, which is what we should be descending at. And as an additional note, it is a grooved runway to allow for water runoff, so they must get a lot of rain down here. Everything's looking good. Nice clear weather here over the island. You can see how small these islands actually are compared to the runway anyway. Approach is good. Winds are coming down a little bit, down to 8 knots. We're starting to settle. Autopilot off. I have control of the aircraft. 278 feet will be minimums. A little bit of a push to the left, so we're going to steer right to counter it. We're slightly low, so I'll pull up. 85 knots, bang on. And still slightly low. We're probably 3 reds, 1 right. And we want to land long, so we're not in a rush to hit the touchdown markers. So we're through minimums, obviously. Everything is looking good. Co-pilot would have called it. We'll line up, use rudder to keep ourselves aligned. Down we come. There's our shadow on the left. Easing back on the power. Oop, don't want to float it. And we are down. I'm just going to let her roll out. Down to the end here. Keep a little bit of left rudder in place because the wind is pushing on the tail, wanting us to go right. That's the cargo apron, and then beyond that's the FBO where we're going to park up. And just keeping the speed up. I think Talia's at the cargo side, but that's fine. We'll go in here. This is Foxtrot. Right ahead of me right now is where the FBO is. But we'll park up beside Talia. Alright, so bring up the flaps. Turn off the lights and the strobe. Transponder goes back to standby. And then we'll park up. I'll take the other side of the building here. And then once we're shut down, we'll take a look, see where Kevin is and how he's doing. Unfortunately, Nick didn't make it. Right to the end, too, before the CTD'd. Alright, so we're parked up. Everything is good. So we bring the fuel back, or actually we're going to bring the prop back to low RPM. We'll bring the fuel back to ground idle. We can get all our lights turned down as the engine kind of cools a little bit. There we go. And cut the fuel. Fuel pump can go off. Turn off the avionics. Those are good, those are good, those are good. And turn off the battery. Yeah, welcome to the Turks and Caicos. And here he comes. Let's get a better shot here. She got the sun on the wrong side. So Kevin, Park on the other side of Talia from me, and that way we'll have the sun on in the shot. We'll get you coming in. All right, so everybody, thank you very much for joining us on this, our second last of the Caribbean tour. We started in Barbados. We did a counterclockwise loop of all the islands. It's been a lot of fun. We got one more to go, which will be in 2 weeks. As I mentioned at the beginning, there will not be a Friday stream next week. I am otherwise occupied. So, yeah, we'll see you there. Tomorrow, we are at 1300. We are doing our Norway in the Twin Otters, heading up from Trondheim to, I can't remember where we're going. Voodoo, I think it is. There's Kevin coming in now. Yeah, I tend just to download them and put them in the folder so I get the aircraft showing up. And then, of course, Kevin does his own liveries. So, there he is. And coming up, should have the information on the next flight as soon as the bot wakes up. Anyway, Twin Otters in Norway tomorrow, 1300 Zulu. Thanks again for joining us. There we go. Yep, we're going up to Voodoo. So we'll see you then. Thanks for flying. Nick, sorry to hear that you had that crash. And we will see you all on the next one. Bye for now.